So pretty much everybody starts growing up in life and they acquire some kind of false beliefs about themselves, some sense of unworthiness, inadequacy in some area, some form of not good enough, or many forms of the not good enough story about looks and smarts and success and accomplishments and money and sexual ability, what their body looks like, all sorts of not good enough beliefs that create the self-judgment that is the wound. And this is completely normal. Not what I would say emotionally ideal or healthy, but normal. And this is where we'll start. We'll talk about the different levels of boundaries that are effective and when you might use boundaries. And you can kind of use this as a map to gauge your progress. You're still going to use boundaries throughout your cleaning up the wound process, but you're going to use them for different reasons, different purposes. And the type of boundary you will use is dependent on how much awareness you have, how much personal power you have, how big of wounds you still have, which would determine how big emotional reaction you have to things. We finally develop a level of awareness. We don't react emotionally to what people say and do. We've dissolved the story of the judge. We dissolved the interpretation of the victim. These are no longer the players in our mind, and we no longer believe what they have to say. And we can control our point of view. We can control our attention and decide what we believe in and decide which interpretation of an event we're going to believe or not. And therefore, we can decide to be happy or not happy. Well, at that point, you could say, you don't need a boundary. You know, even if someone yells at you, barks at you, makes fun of you, puts you down, whatever, you no longer react emotionally. There's no wounds to get pushed. Well, at that level, you could say, you don't need a boundary. You could be around people who mistreat you. You don't want to be around people who abuse you. So you might still put a boundary there and say, you know, I don't want to be with some people who are going to be critical of me because, frankly, it's just no fun. You might love them just the same, but there's no need to put yourself in the line of fire. Well, at that point, then you decide to use boundaries for yourself just as a choice. Emotionally, you're going to feel the same. But you do it because you choose to.